yen, and you can make this offering in any amount of your choice. And you can also make the offerings of the traditional ornaments and the sevas to Devi Parashakti on this website. You can make the offering, the Sankalpa chanting, the conscious resolution, the Devi Sahasranama Swarnakasa, which is the pure gold coin, each coin inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. This offering can be made in 3 different denominations: the Mukta Anguti, the pearl finger ring embedded, the gold finger ring embedded with pearl. This offering can be made in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower, can be offered in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Metti, the gold toe ring adorning the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. This offering can be made on the website. The Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry representing the overflowing nectar of gratitude from the Sahasrara Chakra. You can make this offering on the website. The Pratyaksha Pada Puja and the Vasta Seva, the traditional offerings of Seva to Devi Parashakti. You can make these offerings also on the website. And any other traditional offerings of ornaments or Sevas that you would like to offer to Devi Parashakti as you get ready to receive her darshan and blessing, as you welcome Devi Parashakti in your life and in your inner space, as you celebrate Devi Parashakti's happening. We can make all of these traditional offerings on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And with Deepavali, as we get ready to celebrate Deepavali, you can also make your traditional offerings of celebration for Deepavali on the website www.kailasamailer.com. You can register for the various offerings for Deepavali. We have the offerings for Naraka Chaturdashi, which is the Chandi Homa and the Kali Pratima offering, the installation of the Kali Pratima. You can also register for the Ambal Alankara Seva and the Vishesha Alankara Seva for the Murti of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the Avatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And you can also register for the Pratyaksha Pada Puja on the auspicious occasion of Deepavali. So this is the most traditional offering of gratitude to Guru that each disciple on the auspicious occasion of Deepavali. You can register for the Tulabharam or register as a Mahayajaman for all Sevas. You can also coming up. So if Bhagwan or Muruga is your Ishta Devata, you celebrate Muruga, make the offerings to Devi Parashakti. www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. So you can now get ready with your traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti, and let us learn more also about the various facilities being made available for the care and well-being of humanity through the various de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa, as being guided by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself. So let us now learn more about these various facilities, the various contributions of Kailasas to the care and well-being of humanity. So let us now learn more about these contributions of Kailasas and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as he guides us, as he guides the whole of humanity through this pandemic and to a super conscious breakthrough. Nithyanandam Madayamai Swami.
Nithyanandam Amrita, Nithyanandam everyone. Welcome back to this segment of Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Center at the Kailasa's de facto spiritual embassies with the blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivan's blessings. Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nithyanandam Paramasugadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Manvatitam Gagana Chadusham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Sadgurum Tam Namami. So what we learn from this segment today concerning statistics on mental health and global peace across the world due to the COVID-19 pandemic. What are the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Kailasa's contributions for global peace? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, spiritual solutions for COVID-19, Kailasa's COVID Care Protection Center, some glimpses, and why temple-based ecosystems. UN recognizes Kailasa's contributions. The crisis that we are under. Today, people around the world are trying to grapple with the grim reality that the pandemic is far from over. The aftermath of the current calamity promises to be much more devastating. The greatest economics of the world are facing disastrous futures. Countries are facing off each other in deep mistrust. Now let us see some statistics and current news. Australia reported a new record number of coronavirus cases recently when the country continues to battle the third wave of COVID-19 infections. World Health Organization makes a big statement about the Delta variant of COVID-19. The coronavirus pandemic has now killed more Americans than the 1918 to 19 influenza pandemic did. The 1918 to 19% of Americans and killed an estimated 0.65% with 675,000 deaths. And COVID-19 has infected more than 12% of Americans and killed about 0.2% with 676,000 deaths. Now that the US death toll from COVID-19 has surpassed 676,000, the coronavirus pandemic has killed more Americans than the 1918 to 19 influenza pandemic did. Axios and the Associated Press both reported the grim milestone recently. COVID-19 now officially US deadliest pandemic as the death toll crosses that of the 1918 to 19 influenza. People infected with the alpha variant exhales 100 times more virus into the air than the original COVID strain. 6 feet distance may not be enough to prevent viral transmission indoors. COVID-19 Delta variant still most concerning, says the World Health Organization's experts. The COVID-19 pandemic is nowhere under control in the United States, says the Chief Medical Advisor, Mr. Anthony Fauci. He said, right now, we are still in pandemic mode because we have 150,000 new infections a day. That's not even modestly in good control. In an interview with Axios, the US has reported 40 million cases of COVID-19 since the outbreak of the virus, with over 4 million infections adding up in the past few weeks. The increase in the COVID cases comes as the US administration earlier this month announced that it is planning to provide the booster shots of the vaccine as the Delta variant has become dominant in the nation and is wreaking havoc. The surge in the Delta variant is driven by the low vaccination coverage in many communities across the US, according to the US Center for Disease Control and Prevention. In a country of our size, you can't be hanging around and having 100,000 infections a day. You've got to get well below 10,000 before you start feeling comfortable, Mr. Fauci said. The World Economic Forum, COVID-19 made the world less peaceful with the increase in violent incidences and fatalities. The younger adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and a depressive disorder during the COVID-19 pandemic. The average share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorder, what it was before the pandemic in a 6 months period was 11%, and from January to June 2019, and in just 1 month of beginning of this year, it rose up to 41.1%. The share of adults reporting symptoms of anxiety and a depressive disorder. Some more statistics confirm adults are more likely to report symptoms of anxiety and or depressive disorders. Stress in America. COVID-19 is a significant stressor for most Americans. Nearly 8 in 10, which is 78%, say the coronavirus pandemic is a significant source of stress in their lives. Nearly 7 in 10, which is 67%, say they have experienced increased stress over the course of the pandemic. COVID-19 could exacerbate doctors' existing mental health burden. Of the health workers who treated patients during the China's COVID-19 outbreak, 50% showed signs of depression and 45% showed signs of anxiety. Self-reported mental health among pregnant women and new mothers. The COVID-19 pandemic was 15%. Now, during the pandemic, it rose up to 40.7%. And anxiety was 29%. Now it rose up to 72%. Living under stay-at-home orders, 8 in 10 students are struggling with focus on school or work and avoiding distractions. And 55% of all students do not know where to go for help for their mental health. Nearly 82% of the women surveyed said their lives have been negatively disrupted by the pandemic. Nearly 70% of the women who have experienced these disruptions are concerned their career growth may be limited as a result. The global economic outlook during the COVID-19 pandemic, a changed world. The pandemic is expected to plunge most countries into recession in 2020, with per capita income contracting in the largest fraction of countries globally since 1870. The International Labour Organization, COVID-19 is a threat to peace building in conflict-affected nations. The COVID-19 crisis has worsened already fragile situations. The ILO is more aware than ever of its responsibility to promote peace and resilience in the time of this global pandemic. In India, the Mumbai mayor says the third wave is already here. And the city mayor has said that the third wave of COVID is already upon Mumbai, pointing to a sudden spike in cases. The third wave of COVID-19 is not coming, it's already here, said the Kishori Padnekar, adding that an announcement regarding the matter had already been made in Nagpur. Breakthrough infections found in 25% of the health staff. A little over 25% of healthcare workers were infected with coronavirus despite getting fully vaccinated. A recent study has revealed, giving an insight on the breakthrough infections due to the Delta variant. The study, jointly conducted by the Institute of Genomics and Integrative Biology, Maximum Hospitals in Delhi NCR, found that the vaccination breakthroughs were far more common during the Delta outbreak in Delhi than previously reported. The new COVID-19 variant more shows signs of vaccine resistance. Now that we have seen the across the world, the statistics of the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting not only the physical health, the increase in fatalities and the mental health, especially on the, which is leading to the making the world less peaceful, affecting the global health, global peace. So, how to cope up with the current COVID-19 pandemic? It's important to address the COVID pandemic, which is seeing another wave destroying many more lives. And the global COVID virus pandemic has left the whole world desperately looking for answers. Life as it had been experienced even back in February 2020, which is no longer recognizable, and drastic change is the order of the day, which people having to redefine their world with new paradigms of economy, society, faith, religion, and health. Blessed are those who have had the greatest fortune to be with the incarnation of Paramashiva, the supreme pontiff of Hinduism, in their lives to carry them through this crisis. Sustainable developmental goals. Making peace with nature is possible if we start now. Making peace with nature is possible art now. Even amid pandemic, 2021 can go down as the year we made peace with nature and set the planet to healing. Our environmental, social, economic challenges are interlinked. They must be tackled together. For example, we cannot achieve sustainable developmental goals, including ending poverty by 2030, if climate change and ecosystem collapse are undermining food and water supplies in the world's poorest countries. We have no choice but to transform our economics and societies by valuing nature and putting its health at the heart of all our decisions. Now, let's watch a small clip on making peace with nature. The World Health Organization Health and Peace Initiative. Health and peace are interrelated. In the words of the Director General of World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, there cannot be health without peace and there cannot be peace without health. United States Institute of Peace. Amid COVID, we need enhanced international coordination to build peace. Tackling the pandemic and building resilience in fragile states require concerted international action at global, national, and global levels. As the humanitarian and economic toll of the COVID-19 pandemic continues to grow, so does the risk that this crisis will fuel new conflicts around the world while stemming prospects for resolving ongoing ones. Stronger health systems and universal health coverage must be a priority. Remarks to the General Assembly special session in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time since 1945, the entire world is confronted by a common threat, regardless of nationality, ethnicity, or faith. A new social contract between people, governments, and private sector, civil society, and more can tackle the roots of inequality with fair taxation on income and wealth, universal benefits, and opportunities for all. Now let us see the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's contributions for the global peace. The Vedic civilization beautifully says that Yastu Sarvani Bhati Sarva Bhuteshu Chatmanam Tadona Vigagupchate. Isha Upanishad, the global peace is the byproduct of the individual bliss. Whenever an individual goes through a spiritual bliss, he manifests a beautiful, peaceful life for him and everyone around him. If he is powerful enough, he moves the whole city and manifests peace. He is more powerful, he moves the whole village or whole country. If he is powerful, he moves the whole world and manifests peace for them. The individual bliss is the source for the global peace in the level of Om. The microscopic and macroscopic level Om are the macroscope level universe. Whatever level it may be, global peace is the byproduct of the individual peace and bliss. How do we achieve this individual peace? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains by practicing completion, by practicing unclutching, one can achieve the individual peace, which leads to the global peace.
The consciousness you are carrying, I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Today I wanted to expand on the science of completion. How the science of completion can directly impact the consciousness you are carrying and the consciousness embodied in many bodies. Please understand, the more deeper you go inside you, means more deeper space you go inside you, more expanded you become, more one with everything, more oneness you experience. Because the more deeper you go, the more you experience the unified field of consciousness. Various words are used. Some of the Hindu traditions uses the word Atma, Brahman. Some of the Hindu traditions use the word Nirvana. Whatever word you may use, Atman, Brahman, Nirvana, unified field of consciousness, whatever. But one thing I want to tell you, the deeper and deeper you go in your inner space, you experience the vast oneness. The more superficial you are, the more income you carry with others, even with yourself. The more superficial, parts of you fights with you, different thoughts of you fights with you, even you fight with you. The more superficial you go, the more deeper you start traveling. First, you get integrated. The you fighting with you stops. Then, the people around you get integrated. They fighting with you stops. Completion with yourself, then completion with others, then comes completion with other things, not just living beings, even with inanimate beings. The completion starts happening. Even with a completion starts happening. Please understand, the more deeper you travel, the more deeper you go, the more deeper you settle down, the more deeper you start living. Your cognition expands. Your cognition includes. Your cognition becomes more and more inclusive. More joy, more bliss, more knowledge, more enlightenment. Please understand. The more and more completion happens in you, you will see everyone around you feels complete with you. That is why I am saying, whether they have body or they are disembodied, in the deepest corners of your being, deepermost layers of your being, deepest parts of your being, you experience such powerful awareness, such joy. Going into the deepermost corners of your being not only is a joy, it's a power. Because suddenly you will see everybody around you, everything around you listens to you. It really becomes a vibrant power where the tendency to exploit is not there. Listen, that's a very important thing. Power without the tendency to exploit. Because as long as you feel the other person is separate from you, when you get the power, it will always be used for exploiting. Because the other person is separate from you, then naturally what you will feel? Let me suck all the possible energy, intelligence, time, talent, treasure. But when you feel the other person is your own extension, you will see, you will be showering so much, enriching so much. The power you have will not be exploiting, it will be enriching. I tell you, even if death comes at this moment, I can tell you very clearly, I can face the death directly and tell the death, I have enriched every human being more than what I received from anybody. I have given to every human being whom I met in my life more than what I received from them. My accounts is clear. I am ready. Come on, let's go. My accounts is clear. I don't have debt. No credit card money to be paid. No debit card, no credit card. My accounts is clear. Understand, when you feel everyone is your extension, the power given to you, the power you gain, see, any living is power. powerful way. Even in that, you will become powerful. Any lifestyle you choose, you will get power in that field. Whether it is exploiting or enriching, murdering or raping or go on serving. Whatever lifestyle you choose, living is power. When you go into the deepermost core of your being and start living based on completion, I tell you, the first power you will experience is everything around you listens to you. That power will simply make you enrich everyone. The best power you can have through living is power of enriching. Whatever you do, as I said, whether you live the life of enriching or exploiting, you will become powerful. I tell you, the power of exploiting brings more and more conflict within and without, and those conflicts naturally bring suffering. And the power of enriching brings more and more completion in you and in others. This full month, Nithyananda Sangha all over the world. The other day I was seeing, we have officially presence in more than 50 countries. As devotees, group of devotees, we have presence in 100 countries. All over the world, we are going to celebrate this whole month for Global Peace Month, impacting global peace. All of will live completion and do samskara dahana kriya, means burning the patterns which separates us from others, burning the patterns which are constantly keeping us in a superficial level. All over the world, we will be doing samskara dahana kriya, burning our patterns and leading us to more and more completion. And we also have special 3 Nitya Dhyana Yoga program teaching people science of completion and facilitating samskara dahana kriya. This month, 20th, 21st, this whole month, all over the world, all our temples, ashrams, centers, yoga centers, schools, colleges, universities should do samskara dahana kriya, should do the practice of burning all the incompletions and patterns which leads to conflicts, bringing more and more peace inside us and outside us, spreading peace. This whole month, let's impact global peace. Let us really contribute to the global peace, not just talking about it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Not just talking about it. Let's do it. Even if you teach the samskara dahana kriya to 50 people, in each area, each place where we have centers, ashrams, temples, two-way centers, yoga centers, even 50 people, each Tanidar teaches, enriches them with this science. The amount of suffering and negative waves, negative vibes reduction can contribute so much to the world. Please understand. One positive person can burn millions people negativity. Experientially, with evidence we proved, one positive person has already burnt at least 20 million people's negativity in last 10 years and brought peace. So each one of you, if you stand up as one positive being, one authentic, responsible, enriching being, I tell you, we can do so much to the world. It will be better place than the time we entered. When we leave, it should be better place. That's all. When we leave the earth, it should be better place. So understand, inner peace is your birthright. Go to the depths of your being. Bring more and more completion into you. Completion with others. And start living Advaita. Today in the Inner Awakening session, it's all about completion with others. So last 6 days, literally, you worked so much, one by one by one by one by one, layer by layer by layer by layer. The completion with yourself. Now comes completion with others. Today, we are starting the science of completion with others. It's one of the most powerful science. Does so much to human beings, not just healing their relationships, even inside their consciousness, this inner space, so much of good is done, so much of awakening is done. See, when you have completed with others, the kind of strength you feel, power of Advaita, strength of Advaita. Today the Inner Awakening sessions are all about completion with others. We have long session today working on completing with others. So with this, because today we have a long session with Inner Awakening, we are also lagging behind the syllabus. Actually, it is a good news, it's not a bad news, because participants are so sincere. They are going through the whole process so intensely, sincerely. Because of that, we are little delayed. But today I am going to catch up. Today I am going to spend more time and catch up with them, with the syllabus. So, today with this, I'll move to the next.
Now the Supreme Pontiff of
Social answer means I'll tell, oh, you should.
Now the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explained the self-transformation is the key to global peace.
Social answer means I'll tell, oh, you should all work for global peace. You should all work for turning the world. You should work for revolution. You should work for all these, that things. You should vote only the party which says that it will stop the war and all these things. This is the social answer. Nonsense. If you want the honest answer, I tell you, simply transform yourself. You can't do anything. If at all you can do, you would have done it. Be honest. If you can do, you would have done it. You are raising this question because you are not able to do. Am I right? So let us be very clear. Let us be honest. We are not able to do. Socially. That's the truth. That's the reason you are sitting here and raising the question. I tell you, understand few important things. There are a lot more attached to this question. There are many things which is attached to this question. We always feel the present is the world is totally spoiled. It is not going according to the rules or how it is supposed to be. It was wonderful once upon a time. In ancient time, things were going properly. Everything was well and great. And I tell you, 10,000 years ago, they found some writings on stone in Harappa Mohenjo-daro culture. Some stone writings have been discovered. The other day I read a beautiful book about that stone writings. That writings, it says, oh, nowadays the society is not as it should be. So much of war. There is no peace. In the early times, there was so much of peace. Society was really great. Things were as it should be. And it almost looks like a today newspaper editorial. 10,000 years ago, the same carved on a stone. Then understand, there was no such time of Adam and Eve. There was a time everything was wonderful. Every religion has got the fantasy. The past was great. There was golden past. Always the idea of golden past exists only in the past. The more you go back, again you say the past was great. And I tell you one thing, it is a wonderful way of postponing accepting the reality. Otherwise, I can be sure the world was same as it is today. Whether it is 5,000 years ago or 10,000 years ago. Maybe one thing, there was no CNN channel that time. So the news did not reach you so quickly. That's all. The news did not reach you so quickly. That may be the only difference. But otherwise I can be sure the good and the bad was equal. Good and the bad was equal. The same amount of wars were there. All the other things were there. You read the Puranas, the mythological stories of India, you see enough of things. Enough of dirty things. I think sometimes I find a little more. And if you read completely the Puranas or the Hindu scriptures, there are a lot of things much worse than modern day. The criminal activities or bad things or negative things, whatever you say, all this stuff. And never think only present day is corrupted or violent. In the ancient days also, all these things were there. Only one thing was not there, the CNN news or the internet. So the news did not reach you. But otherwise I can tell you, enough the good and bad was there. It always will exist. It will exist. All you can do is, if you awaken yourself. If you reach the enlightenment state, you can go beyond it. And I tell you, enlightenment is the only service you can do to the society. Just become enlightened so that you will reduce the negativity. Now, as of now, you are also the part of negative group. Naturally, we will be a negative group. As long as we are unenlightened, we will be the part of collective negative consciousness. So if you become enlightened, at least you will reduce your weight. That's the only thing we can do. Nothing else can be done. So all I request you to do is just become enlightened. Realize that you are a lion. That's the only way to help yourself and the society. Otherwise, all revolutions, you see, all revolution again end up as one more tradition. In last 2000 years, 3000 wars have happened in the humanity. In 2000 years, 3000 wars. Human beings have not done anything except doing wars, except fighting. Everybody claims he wants to do revolution. He wants to spread peace. You see, every country claims their army is a defensive army. Then who is offending? Tell me. Every country says defensive army. Then who is offending? These are all just, games. The idea of peace is a pure game. Everybody wants to spread the peace according to them, not according to the other person. They want peace according to them. The other day I was in one interreligious gathering. One guy is preaching, let all of you convert to my religion so that we will not have fight. He wants peace the way in which he wanted, not the way in which. And there's a beautiful saying, the sword of Muhammad, it is written, peace alone should survive, something like that. He has written some statement about the peace on the sword. We all take sword to spread the peace. So no revolution is going to help, because in the last 2000 years 3000 revolutions have happened, but still world is same, I think much worse. So no revolution is going to help, only individual evolution is going to help. So be very clear. Instead of working in the outer world, start working in the inner world. That will help you and society some way. Social answer means, I'll tell.
Now, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, Sri Kailas is all about peace-based powerfulness.
Listen carefully. The space of Shanti is where Kailasa grows. Listen carefully. It is in the deep powerfulness of peace, or peace-centered powerfulness is the ground, breeding ground for Paramashivatva to manifest. Please understand. Like how pure mirror reflects everything, pure Shanti-based Shakti, peace-based powerfulness reflects Paramashiva. Paramashiva manifests in peace-based powerfulness. Please understand. Neither violence nor powerlessness. Powerlessness is weakness. Violence is abusive. Peace-centered powerfulness. Powerfulness-centered peace. All the Upanishads starts with peace, completes with peace. Shanti mantra starts with Shanti mantra, gets completed with Shanti mantra. Peace-based powerfulness is a fundamental requirement for Paramashivatva to manifest. That is why people who don't want us to manifest Paramashivatva or power manifestation do not want to allow the peace in our life or do not want peace in our campus. Understand? But only if you are peaceful, which cannot be shaken even by the demons and devils and rakshasas, we can be in eternal peace. So, remember this very clearly. Peace alters the very DNA structure, genetic structure, the core Anu Mahat structure. Understand? Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The consciousness in you is atom inside the atom, Mahat, more than Mahat. That Anoraniyan Mahato Mahiyan. That consciousness starts growing in you with more and more peace-based powerfulness developing in you. Nothing can be compared to unclutching. Spend more and more time, energy in unclutching. It will never be wasted. Time spent on unclutching is the most productive time for you in your life, because unclutching completely makes you altogether a different material. Understand? It makes your very biomemory, muscle memory, core structure, molecular structure, genetic structure, DNA structure, everything. All the 8 energy flow circuits, 7 energy flows, 1 the pure conscious explosion. So totally 8 energy flow circuits exist in you. All the 8 explodes when you unclutch. Understand? Unclutching is the space of Sri Kailasa. Listen. Every chanting, every prayer in Hinduism ends with Shanti, Shanti, Shanti 3 times. Means peace, peace, peace. Hinduism is the real religion. Loving peace, living peace. Individual level, social level, global level. Understand? Hinduism lost all its 56 nations, 200 states, 10,000 kingdoms, samstans. Not a loss to Hinduism, it is a loss to planet Earth, human beings. Wherever Hinduism is practiced, kept alive, the ideal of global peace is kept alive. Just do this one simple statistics. You yourself study. Google and study Take the top 10 religions and list how many people they converted in last 200 years, how many people they killed. List for each religion. I can be 200% sure you yourself will realize Hinduism is the most peace-loving and peace-living religion, neither conversion nor terrorism. Neither conversion nor terrorism. Being the supreme pontiff of the most peace-loving, peace-living religion, I give you all my blessings on this International Peace Day. Understand? It is we Hindus need to keep the global peace as a living possibility, and we need to make this global peace as reality. Just talking about global peace will not work. Working for global peace only is the responsibility of the real living Hindu. Anyone who wants to claim themselves as a Hindu or practicing Hindu should work for global peace. Global peace is our responsibility. Every chanting, every Hindus have the responsibility to bring global peace. So you can also throw a challenge. See, if you are making a Hindu micronation, you can throw this challenge to each one, your friends, family, 10 people. Let them participate in the challenge and then let them send a challenge to others. So I welcome all the living and practicing Hindus to become founding fathers of Kailasa micronation in your countries. You can also make a challenge, like how they made ice bucket challenge and all that. We can make a challenge. You form Hindu micronation and claim, I am the founding father of the Hindu micronation Kailasa. And then you can invite your family, friends for a challenge, 11 people. You form and you challenge 11 people and they also form and they spread. So let us start spreading. This project is my message on this International Day of Peace. Let us start working for global peace instead of just talking. The work we do will talk for us. The talk we do will not work for us. This is the message. The work we do will talk for us. The talk we do will not work for us. It's the responsibility of Hindus. We living, practicing Hindus, not only we should achieve the individual peace through unclutching, yoga, meditation, we should also create an ecosystem where the global peace starts manifesting. This Kailasa Hindu micronation is the enlightenment ecosystem. I request every living practicing Hindu to manifest, do it. So the global peace can manifest from these Kailasa Hindu micronations all over the world. Hindus have
Now let us see the Kailasa's mission of global peace and superconsciousness breakthrough. The sovereign order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Nithyananda order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace and to give a superconsciousness breakthrough to humanity. It is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's mission to revive a conscious world where the global issues at climate, economic, social, health, and humanitarian levels cease to exist from their very root, turning the problems of poverty, hunger, violence, discrimination into powerful living through the experience of oneness. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been working from the very grassroots level to usher in an era of peace at all levels, individual, societal, national, and global. His deep insights into the workings of the human mind-body emotions have enabled him to powerfully and directly address various social and emotional problems facing humanity today. Some of the ways that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism provides spiritual solutions to combat the pandemic and other issues. Since the beginning of the lockdown, the amount of contribution and activism of Kailasa has increased multifold through the Paramashivoham program, bringing super consciousness breakthrough to the whole humanity. By starting the Akhanda Nirvikalpa Samadhi Jnana Yajna and contributing almost billions of minutes so far. Paramashiva Sankalpa chanting, the sacred Sanskrit mantra chanting to heal 24/7 via Zoom sessions. The spiritual healing to one and all 24/7, helping humanity to cope up with insecurity, fear, disease by empowering individuals to heal themselves, learn to cope up emotions like depression and tough situations in relationships, providing alternative solutions to worldly problems through power manifestation. Initiating thousands every day into the manifesting innate superhuman capabilities in the Kailas courtyard sessions, providing healthy solutions like a technique to clear the stomach from the Ayurvedic solutions, which ultimately brings clarity out to the spiritual truths and give a conscious breakthrough. In the long term, establishing self-sufficient communities. Continuing and intensifying the service of Annadan, the free food in Nithyananda Annalayas around the world, including Tiruvannamalai and Los Angeles. Paving way with the New World Order, starting the agriculture-based communities in Adi Kailas and several other locations. Peacekeepers of Kailas are offering various life solutions from the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Hinduism prescribes various methods of global healing. One such is Maheshwara Puja, nullifying the collective negativity simply through the presence of the avatar and his order of monks, offering Maheshwara Puja to the natural calamities hit victims. Bhava Samadhi Darshan to raise the individual consciousness breakthrough. Devi Parashakti Akashic reading the cosmic revelations. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism spiritual solutions for COVID-19. Society was created with the delusional ideas of too many human beings, blind spots, and the decisions made from those blind spots. If the visionary of a civilization or country or nation has blind spots when he develops a vision for it, the whole civilization suffers those blind spots forever. Now it is time that the nature, Prakriti, resets itself, and many of the blind spot-based visions, ideas become important components of the society. This pralaya which is happening is melting down everything which is delusion-based. The world as we know is gone. Let us celebrate God. This isolation which is seemingly endless with an unknown future which is compelling humanity to make a 100% lifestyle change is something to be deeply dwell upon. All problems need to be addressed only with spiritual solutions and powerful cognition. To stop people having mental breakdown, pandemic fatigue, collapsing, depression, destruction, and also give them the super consciousness breakthrough and revive enlightened civilization. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism continuously gives spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions. Some of the spiritual solutions and powerful cognitions: unclutching, practicing completion, practicing oneness, practicing ajapa japa of Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, consciously building deep feeling connection, yoga, puja, vegetarian diet, nirahara samyama. It is time we all take responsibility to save humanity and to protect people from this pandemic fatigue and destruction. It is all the spiritual solutions are free and open for all. Let us take few minutes now and share with as many people as possible, and let us save the world. Let us give them the experience of unclutching, nirvikalpa samadhi jnana yajna, and save people from the pandemic fatigue and epidemic fatigue, destruction and delusion. People from over 50 countries continuously radiate the space of Paramashiva by practicing the unclutching meditation 24/7 a day, 7 days a week, and it started from 13th May Indian Standard Time. At any given point of time, 4 to 8 zones actively unclutching around the world. Join this movement at http://kailasa.tv/minutes for peace. The life solutions based on the ancient Hindu tradition, the meditation and yoga techniques from the scriptures, and the cognitions rooted in the highest truth, the lifestyle based on living and radiating the higher values of life, and powerful way of living and realizing one's ultimate potential form the foundation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism teachings, which by their inherent nature provide the foundation for peace on planet Earth. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has launched the Minutes for Peace initiative, which aims to reduce the crime globally by conducting mass meditations around the world in parallel. In 2014, just after 2 years of launching the program, it crossed over 1 billion minutes of meditation. Scientific studies have shown a reduced crime rate after the participation in the meditation and completion techniques. In 1976, it was found that when 1% of community practiced meditations, puja, the crime rate was reduced by 16% on an average. The current tally on the Minutes for Peace website is more than 4.3 billion cumulative minutes of meditation logged, including all the events, programs, and festivals where people have gathered in large numbers and participated in meditations and rituals. The total count comes out to be a staggering of 409 billions of minutes for peace so far. You can see some of the glimpses where the about 5,000 devotees gathered and participated in a 48-day meditation program called Shuddhatvaitam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has hosted Kumbh Mela in the United States in Los Angeles since 2007. Nithyananda Sangha is entrusted as the only organization to host Kumbh Mela outside India by the Akhila Bharatiya Akhada Parishad. In September 2006, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has organized the first confluence for world peace to honor the memory of those who lost their lives saving others on September 11, 2011 at Irvine, California. The second Confluence for Peace was held in Los Angeles in 2007 in collaboration with Vedanta Society, PAPS, ISKCON, Siddha Yoga, and other organizations. The Kumbh Mela festival spread fast to other countries, including Australia, Canada, etc. In 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together in harmony from all walks of life, to promote feeling connection and oneness among people. During the walk, health camps were conducted in villages along its path. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has conducted the large-scale collective meditations on September 21st, International Peace Day, to raise the collective consciousness. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been initiating sannyas to thousands of the disciples. Sannyas is our social responsibility. Let us save Hinduism and humanity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revitalized the monastic tradition of sannyas by initiating hundreds of thousands of people into the Nithyananda monastic order. The all-renouncing monks contribute to best things to human civilization, living their life with the cognition life is for others. These monks and nuns act as the harbingers of the peace and empowerment for the human society distraught with violence, depression, and other forms of life negativity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived the ancient practice of embarking on pilgrimages. There are the spiritual journeys, taking the spiritual aspirants to high energy sacred spots such as the Himalayas, Kailas, Varanasi, Angkor Wat, and various powerful temples of India. Even though prevalent in India, this practice is rapidly losing its original context, turning into a recreational family vacation. Reviving the original spiritual context, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made it possible for modern day human beings to benefit from the spiritual energy present at these centers and accelerate their journey of spiritual evolution, hence ensuring individual and collective peace as a natural consequence. Food systems hold key to ending the world hunger, United Nations Environmental Program. Effect of COVID-19 pandemic, the UN has noted a dramatic increase in the world hunger. According to the state of food security and nutrition in the world, 1/10 of the global population, as many as 811 million people, were undernourished in 2020, an increase of 118 million from 2019. Under the Red Home, the No Hunger Project, through the Annalayas, the food donation centers at the Kailasas de facto spiritual embassies worldwide, under the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has served over 5 billion organic, sattvic, vegetarian meals so far. Giving free food to all the citizens of the is the economic policy of Kailasa, deriving the reference from Vedas and Agamas. Recently, under the humanitarian initiative launched by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is opening of Kailasa's COVID care centers in India, where the monastery campuses have been turned into a multi-layer quarantine facility to safeguard the inmates against any possible point of contact with the outer world. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened this service free to all people, regardless of any differences in age, gender, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, or socio-economic status. Food, shelter, internet, and all basic facilities, including medical care, are provided at these COVID care centers, free of cost and for an indefinite period of time. The outcome has been a splendid zero infection rate participants, a feat not achieved anywhere else in the world, let alone in India. This response model of handling the COVID-19 pandemic at a community level, along with the guidelines and recommendations for governments, has been recognized and accepted by the United Nations as well. Now we can see the participants of the Kailasa's COVID care program offered by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism are enjoying a healthy spiritual lifestyle in multi-layered protection. They enjoy stress-free time, following a spiritual morning routine, doing yoga, daily puja, temple sevas, kar sevas, and celebrating festivals. So join the Kailasa's COVID care protection centers at the register now through the link below at https://kailasa.org/Kailasa care. The revival of the temple sciences and ecosystem. The Kailasas COVID care centers, the Kailasas de facto spiritual embassies are all temple based. Why the temple based ecosystems? Especially now in the times when the COVID-19 is rampant and the ancient temples are in a lockdown because of the risk of the widespread corona disease, the devotees of these temples were visiting and having darshan of their gods and goddesses for thousands of years. At all these ancient sacred sentiments have come to a harming halt after the lockdowns have taken place. The religious fervor of the devotees is being lost due to the pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the e-Kailasa ecosystem and bringing all the ancient traditions of the online platform on Kailasa TV, YouTube, and Facebook. Now, let's listen from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explaining about the science of temples.
Master, people not belonging to this culture knows little about this particular Meenakshi temple. Please tell us who is Devi Meenakshi and her husband. Why this grand temple? What are the visible and invisible functions of this temple? Please tell us, Swamiji.
Read the next question also. Both.
As we see in our present time, towers of mobile, TV or dish TV antennas everywhere connecting invisibility to satellites, doing an incredible function for individuals and for society. My question is, there is and was everywhere temples and deities in this culture. Anybody coming from outside just wonder, is this just sentimental carved stones, worshipping culture or just artistic sculpture? What is the invisible function of temples, deities?
See, both questions, same answer. That is the reason I wanted to answer both the questions together. Modern day dish TVs, antennas, mobile towers, all of them work in the level of certain frequency where the words, pictures, visuals can be transmitted. See, the verbalization and visualization, names and forms can be transmitted from one place to another place through these mobile towers, dish TV antennas. But the temple towers are created to transmit super consciousness from one place to another place. Please understand, in Meenakshi's time, there was television, conscious television. It used to be in stone slab, and if you just sit in front of that stone TV, meditate, connect with Meenakshi, she will appear live and answer whatever you want. So each of the stone slabs only slowly later on became deities. You can see in our temples this happening. The TVs in which I am appearing and speaking are slowly becoming deities. They are receiving worship. Flowers are offered to it. Aarti is done to it. Incense is given to it. Now, all our temples are planning to have a separate throne for this TV. In Los Angeles, already I am on the throne. The TV is in the throne. The TV, in which people are seeing me, have already become deity. Same way, please understand, the stones through which people were able to connect with the super consciousness have become deities. Same way, all our temples, deities, everything is a connecting mechanism with super consciousness. The mechanism which connects with the super consciousness Please understand, the deities and temples are not just sentimental carved stones, or they are not just artistic sculptures. They are conscious transmitters. They raise you to the superconsciousness. House in Vedic tradition, we have a puja room. All the puja rooms are your private conscious airport, are conscious transmission centers. The main temple is the place from where continuous superconsciousness is radiating. So if you just sit and connect with a deep feeling connection, see, in those days human beings were so beautiful and simple. Just remembering the name of the deity is enough. They are already in connection with the deity. That feeling connection. When I read Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, it says, sit in Siddhasana and be in Samadhi. That's all. So the human beings were so simple in those days. Just if you sit in Siddhasana, you are already in Samadhi. If you sit, your mind sits. Now, if you sit, your mind sits. Mind is completely away from the body. In those days, human beings are so simple and intelligent. All the non-mechanical parts of their brain were awakened. It is Western culture which killed the non-mechanical parts of the brain. The functions of the non-mechanical parts of the brain. Please understand, in the Vedic civilization, always human beings were brought up in such a way that non-mechanical parts of the brain was fully alive and awakened. It is a cultural invasion, destroyed the greatest possibility of the human being. When the non-mechanical parts of the brain is not functioning anymore, the temples, deities, all these are looking useless. Otherwise, they are a huge conscious infrastructure. Please understand. So, an example, suddenly, if we find some method to travel just 20 feet above the air or 30 feet above the air without petrol or diesel, all our automobiles, roads, everything will become useless. Then you will wonder, why so many automobile industries are established? Why so many cars are produced? Why this huge road? Waste. I think our ancestors are fools. You don't understand. At one period, it was used. It was being useful. Our temples, our deities, all these are useful if all your non-mechanical parts of the brain is awakened. Unclutching is the process to awaken your non-mechanical parts of the brain. When your non-mechanical parts of the brain is awakened, you will understand temples, deities, how useful they are, how directly useful they are, how they are part of our life, how they enrich our life, and how they make human beings intelligent, enlightened. These are the methods created to create enlightened civilization. These grand temples are not built as an just monument. They are built as a conscious movement. It is not like Egyptian pyramids. No. It is conscious movement to raise human beings to the highest consciousness, to make human beings experience the highest purpose. Understand? Unclutch. Use the temples to achieve the highest consciousness.
जीवन मुक्ति प्रद
So join the Kailasas COVID Care Protection Centers at the register now through the link below with https://kailasa.org/kailasa care. With this, we are going to move on to the next part of our program after a very short break. Thank you, Nithyanandam.